Hello and welcome to New World Review. I'm Grandline Waifu and I'm here to steal your soul and wear it like a beanie, but you won't mind that because it's been a long time coming, and frankly, if you didn't know I was going to do this by now, you should be a little bit embarrassed. Please keep your arms and legs inside the review at all times or I will take those too. I've been warned about threatening people en masse, so this thread is directly aimed at the person editing this video. You know who you are. Yes, that guy right there. No, use a less flattering picture of yourself. It's only fair. Better. You will find spoilers for episodes 27 and 28 here, and here. If you want to register disapproval or approval, you will find buttons here and here, though I cannot guarantee the button is safe to click with your mortal mouse button hands. To soothe you, cute dog face incoming in 3, 2, 1, BAM! That's all the cuteness you're going to get, so enjoy it. Zushi wasn't as heavily featured in these episodes. Speaking of episodes, we are in the Rennen phase of Hunter x Hunter. In fact, this episode of Hunter x Hunter is called Nennen, so join me as we say and it's surprisingly satisfying. As satisfying as seeing Hisoka turn up just when I was missing him most. Welcome back, beloved. It's not at all surprising that Hisoka uses 10 and that his nenergy to manipulate people. It makes me wonder whether what Gon was sensing in the forest during his exam was Rentense 10 usage, him focusing his soul into a single point. But why would he? Because it feels good? I'd imagine it would indeed feel good to focus one's dirty soul into a single point. We've seen him use his Zets, verbally telling Illumi not to touch Gon, and it stands to reason that just like Chicken Wing, he uses Nen to move the cards he carries. It gives more context overall in terms of Hisoka's flamenco, actually. It's a counterpoint. The flamenco is very rigidly held to time in order to push the passion through very specific movements. Hisoka very rigidly controls his Nen through Ren to then engage Hats, if I'm using this right. Lots of words. Anyway, the Zetsu is the main aspect of him we haven't seen so far, though Chicken did mention that it could be verbally or physically carried out. So now, of course, we wonder what the relationship is between Hisoka and Wing. Did one train the other? I'll admit, before Wing turned up, I was starting to think that perhaps Wing was Hisoka without makeup, though I can't in hindsight imagine Hisoka being able to pull off the ability to train, nor could he work with a young kid without being really cruel. Zushi trusts Wing enough that he doesn't question Wing's lie at first, so that was just an inkling turning up. Another point that definitely did not miss me was the fact that Wing had access to floor 200, and he seemed to know that Hisoka or someone like him would be there waiting for them. Wing has completed the competition before, either winging, I'm full of puns today, either winging it or by concentrated Nen. Probably both. Who taught him? How did he know Hisoka? Why did he change his mind about them learning about Nen? Especially knowing they were on their way to the top, why did he change his mind about it? And what is it about Nen that meant Zushi could get up after being hit full force by Killua? Speaking of Killua, I'm very much enjoying that we've maintained the focus on him for this arc. It seems strange that a kid who turned up late to the party in terms of episodes would be the next focus, but I really enjoy that the spotlight has been placed on him, with Gon along for the ride. I sense a really big payoff when he sees his brother again and can stand up to him, or when he sees his mother and can... Wait, he's already done that. Like Wing, I suspect these two kids have already been activating parts of their Rennen for a long time. Gon uses Zetsu constantly in his repetition of not giving up. Killua has a strong handle on the concepts of Ren and Hatsu. As much as the end of the episode was questioning their ability to learn the concepts in less than 4 hours, I didn't really have any doubt that they'd be able to learn it. The issue will come when they experience burnout. Like Wing says, can they maintain their souls? Do these kids even have souls? The nice thing about seeing the interaction between Zushi and the Gon-Killua combo is that we see what a normal kid should look like. Yes, he has extraordinary training, but he's a normally functioning kid psychologically. Gon and Killua have extraordinary abilities, and they're not normally functioning children. Everyone who has interacted with them has noted that in some way. So the stopping point for them isn't going to be whether they can learn the techniques or whether they can endure. It'll be how specific the concept of a soul is in this world, and whether they burn out their souls before they finished what they're trying to finish. And that's a fascinatingly dark way to tell a story. Because someone like Goku, yes, I'm jumping to another series for a second, sorry. Goku has a very pure soul. He fights to protect, he fights for good, he fights for the honor and enjoyment of fighting, but he doesn't want to fight to harm. And that's Wing's point. He doesn't want to teach Gon and Killua because he doesn't trust that they would use the power he teaches them safely. He doesn't think that they would be honorable or good or fight for the right reasons. And yet he's teaching them anyway. Perhaps it's because of who he knows they're up against, which is how we end up cycling back to Hisoka. They have to know each other, and Wing has to know the kids will die if they can't stand up to him. Is he doing it for the kids or because he wants them to defeat Hisoka? At which point is he doing it for the greater good or to soothe his own soul? He knows Gon and Killua will likely end up using the power for the wrong reasons. He's going to do it anyway. And that's knowledge that we're going to take into episode 29. Episode 29! Our intrepid anti-heroes have learned the power of Renenenenenen, or at least Tenenenenen, which is incidentally the number of people they need to defeat in order to battle the important dudes at the top of the arena. We got another set of silhouettes today. I'm not sure how I feel about these silhouettes. Are they designed to leave me wondering? They appear every time. I have been bombarded with silhouettes, and at first I might have thought there'd be some kind of shadow puppet show, but now that is definitely not something that will happen. It also seems that besides the first one back in the last arc's opening discussion, there's no real reason to use the silhouettes other than aesthetic, which is fine. The aesthetic is nice, but usually silhouettes are used to conceal, and these ones are revealed almost immediately. We don't get the chance to think about them. We don't get the chance to wonder whether the people we're seeing might be those people. That information is immediately obvious and provided incredibly quickly. It's an odd thing, the pacing of this show. Not that that's a bad thing, just that it's a strange thing. There seems to be a rhythm of slow setup, a chunk of exposition or explanation, followed by, oh, look at that! The thing that should be really difficult or impossible for anyone who isn't a 12-year-old sociopath is suddenly really easy. It's a hard thing to reconcile when I think about it, because I don't strictly mind that it's happening. I'm just so very aware that it's happening that I'm not sure how to feel about it. I'm not sure whether the intention is for me to go, yeah, duh, of course they can, or, oh no, they won't manage to do this in time. This is truly too much for them. And I think that's the point. I don't actually know, and I feel like I should. That aside, the actual awakening of their bodies reminded me of basically every mindfulness activity I've ever taken someone through, and that was quite nice, having that realism. Find your inner peace is a strange thing to do to someone after you've said, I will awaken every cell in your body and you will steam to death. But you know what? I'm sure I've done that too. Maybe I, Grand Line Waifu, am more wing than chicken. The fact that he taught them this ability and made a point of saying, but don't use it yet, is possibly the only thing that could have guaranteed they would indeed use it immediately. Has he never met a child? And what is it with those silhouette turned real strange people? I mean, Hisoka's usually the strangest character we'll see, and I love him for his strangeness, but these guys just sort of stood around watching, and I feel like despite Hisoka's very clear creepster ick factor, these guys seem somewhat more dangerous. I find it difficult to believe that Hisoka will leave Gon unprotected here. He's not matured enough for Hisoka as yet. It's strange how far ahead it's possible to see with this story. Gon can't finish this arena until he's strong enough to fight Hisoka, at least the theory goes in my head, and Hisoka can't let Gon die until Gon's finished ripening, as it were. I've seen those devil fruits Liam creates on Grand Line Review. It's like this is the Gon fruit, and Hisoka's just waiting for it to ripen so he can enjoy the delectable juices and But he has to wait for Gon to gain his Renenen first and be able to manipulate it. Speaking of Renenen, when they first introduced Gon and Killua on the 200th floor, I thought they might be fighting each other. I was more interested than I should have been by that prospect. We know, or at least I hope we do, that Gon could absolutely not beat Killua in a fight right now, but I'd have liked to see them navigate the social aspects of that. Maybe they can be each other's 10th fight. That seems to be the most significant possible outcome other than fighting Hisoka. And returning to my love, I do wonder, since he knew where Gon was going, whether he would have taught Gon or found a way to have Gon taught about Tenrennen himself if Gon hadn't had Wing turn up. It's a lovely coincidence that we have this boy and his trainer who are in the opening credits, thank you Liam, to show Gon the ability Hisoka needs him to learn to be a credible fruity threat. A fruity threat, yes. And to show Killua how to be the strongest he can be despite his brother having the same knowledge and ability to teach it to. Which is another point. Why didn't Killua learn this from his family? He was taught how to do the ghosty step thing that he tried to teach Canaria, who already knew it. I wonder whether she knows about Renenen and whether she could theoretically have taught it to him too. All these people who could teach them something and they either don't need it or don't want it. I suppose that comes with the territory of being young. That receptionist woman, by the way, deserves a bloody Oscar for the performance she gave to those ungrateful children. She did everything she could to make the experience fun for them. She gave them a very piece of her nen, y'all, to create hype and enjoyment and pump them up. But no, you can tell that she's someone who really wants to love her job. But up on the 200th floor, I don't think many people at all have the level of hype they have down on the earlier floors, assuming, of course, it's not the same woman on all of them. I mean, look at her. And her. Is this an Officer Jenny thing? I understand the uniform, but they have such similar features that I wonder if maybe they're related. That's a crossover with 4 different franchises. And that's before we hit up Leorio's Slice of Life adventure and Kurapika's Fight Club. I think I'm onto something here, y'all. And this is the point where I should probably stop talking because I'm not allowed to talk about the club I'm not allowed to talk about. There's some stuff here for you to click. There's stuff here for you to click. I think there's a doobly-doo thing down below the video for you to look at. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and check out the Grand Line Review Discord and click things and have fun and talk to me and stuff, and I'll see you next time. Woo!